Hello and welcome to our first episode of our little podcast. That's something that Leon and I have been talking about for a little while now, and we've been connecting. I think for the last few weeks, pretty consistently, just talking about different things in the fitness world. A lot of Hyrox chats. Yeah, we just thought that making this like a little podcast episode and just talking about fitness in general, how we got where we are, and what our plans are for the future. So definitely very happy to have you on and just to hear what you've got to share. And yeah, why don't you give us a little introduction of yourself?
Yeah, man, thanks for having me. I gotta get used to speaking English again. Because I used to live in Amsterdam, so there it was my number one language, and that's where we connected in the first place, right? But yeah, now I'm based in Cologne, living, working, studying here. Um, and yeah, I'm happy to be on this podcast and yeah, share my opinions and experiences from the world of fitness, I guess.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's great to have you on and great to reconnect as well. Like you said, we've met actually through our buddy Jack. So shout out to Jack, who I've worked with for a little while when I was working in Amsterdam too. And he was your roommate, obviously. So that's how we connected. And funny enough, we're both from Cologne. So that's our hometown. And you've now returned. And I mean, I'm in Canada now, but I'll always be home to visit. So yeah, next time I'm home, I'm definitely going to have to connect. But if you want to start, why don't you give us like a little overview of like, and I don't even know much of this of you, like where have you come from before we met in Amsterdam? Like what was your story leading up? Maybe like what role did fitness and sports play in your youth, and like kind of what grew out of the whole story?
Yeah, man. First of all, shout out to Jackie. He's a lovely guy. He's an idiot, but he's a lovely guy.
He's a
Uh,
great guy. He's a great guy, actually.
so nothing, yeah, nothing but love for that dude.
For sure.
So yeah, my fitness journey. So I basically started playing football from an early age. I think I was 4, like every other German boy, I guess. Um, and So my actual fitness journey started, so fitness, when it comes to lifting weights or body weight training or whatever, started when I was 12 years old, I think. Ever since then, I've been training and working out. And I actually remember the exact moment when I got into working out because I was on holidays with a couple of boys and we were like 12 years old, right? And I was like somewhere in the Netherlands, I think like was a small island. And one day we were laying at the beach, just like sunbathing. And my friend back then, I think Carlos was his name, but it doesn't matter. So he was like kind of resting on his arms, right? So that he could like look over the sea. And then I just looked at him. And I looked at his well stomach, I guess, or his core. And I noticed these pecs. I was like, "What the hell is that? Like, what the hell are those pecs?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's a six pack." I was like, "What is a six pack?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's your abs. It comes from like doing sit-ups." I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's pretty cool." And then when I got back home, I just started doing sit-ups and push-ups. And yeah, I did that like every second day or so. And then obviously I incorporated other exercises into it as well. Yeah, I was just doing it to look good, to have a six pack. And then I was still playing football, and I always used to be like I'm like 188 now. I don't know what that is in feet.
It's like probably
But
6 foot 2, something
yeah,
like that.
something like that. Yeah, I, yeah, I think it's 6 foot 2. And I'm like 95 kg. So I'm a tall, big dude now. But my growth spurt happened like at a very like, very late stage, like during my teenage years. Um, and I always used to be like the smallest kid in class and the smallest kid in my football club, and got like not bullied, but like physically bullied. They're like doing 1v1s or whatever. Maybe when we cut this episode, we can like show a little picture like here or there or somewhere. Um, and that was the case until I was like 17 years old. So I had to like it's like kind of have to make up for that, right? So I kept training, and mostly body weight. But I already like put in like much more work than everyone else. Like didn't help with the football really. I wasn't that talented.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but for example, my school was like 9 kilometers away from home. So what I would do like every other day, after school, I would just like drop off my bag, at my dad's office, and I would just run home like 8 kilometers, like three or
Wow.
four times a week. Just because I was like, I wanna become pro. Like
Yeah.
obviously it didn't happen. Um, but so you can see like I've always been into working out, very like dedicated. And then at like age 18, I started going to the gym because before that my mom was like, nah, you're not allowed.
Mm-hmm.
I put on um quite some weight pretty quickly, just like because of genetics. And I was like, I don't really want to put on more weight because like or more muscle mass because I still want to play football. And my dad was always like, if you keep like going to the gym like that, you're gonna like you're gonna look shit. And that was his opinion. And yeah, that like in retrospect, it was good because he stopped me from going to that bodybuilding direction. And yeah, and then I started doing calisthenics because I still I enjoyed working out. I just didn't want to do it like for the muscle growth anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I started doing a lot of calisthenics, put on more muscle mass still, just because of genetics again, right? Plays a huge role. Um, did calisthenics for quite a few years. Then at some point got into coaching, strength and conditioning coaching, and then incorporated these movements into my own workout. So I did like mostly strength and conditioning training for myself from different sports. Was always missing the competitive element though. Um, until I yeah, kind of got to know and fell in love with Hyrox. So I started doing Hyrox like half a year ago. And yeah, it's kind of like the ideal sport for me because I've always been into endurance sports, right? Like my dad, like he had me run my first 31-kilometer race when I was like 13, 14, something like that. Uh,
It's early. Yeah.
and yeah, I've always been into strength training as well, so it's the ideal combination really. And now like I'm mostly doing high walks, which is mostly running and zone two and um but yeah, that's kind of a brief overview over my workout history.
It's yeah, pretty cool. It's funny how when you said that the first time you really started like working out was after you saw your buddy there at the beach with a six pack, and I feel like that's when what started me off as well. Like it was always like looking at the guys that were like maybe a few years older, like or like just a little more advanced, and like had like these nice bodies, and I was like, well, how the hell do I get that? And like now, even working with clients, like it's mostly still that objective that they want to look a certain way. That's usually what gets people into the fitness world. And I feel then when they get on a good journey, it actually changes. Like then it pivots to something that's much more meaningful, which is like your health, your longevity, like your actual fitness. Instead of just like looking good, you want to feel good. You see all the benefits of like having a daily routine and like being active, having an active lifestyle. So those are all things you don't know before you start because you don't do it on a daily basis, right? But that
Yeah,
was my experience of it. It was just like first it was about looks, and then it really became about like something way way deeper.
yeah,
And
man, I agree. Most people start like with like the looks, right? But I'm guess we're gonna talk about that like in another episode or so. Like shouldn't be the main objective. Like should be like a nice side effect. When did you actually start? At what age?
working out, I started well, just like you, like any boy in Germany growing up. I played football my whole youth, so that was always like my sport. And then I didn't really start working out until I joined the first academy team that I played for, which was like um, Eintracht Trier. So like that's where I grew up, kind of like the west of Germany is like lower countryside, and then the next bigger town was Trier. where I went to play for the academy. And that was the first time we had like a strength and conditioning coach, where we did like mostly body weight. I must have been like 13 years old, 14 years old. That was the first time that I got introduced into like doing all the push-ups, the sit-ups, like all your just stabilizing movements kind of at that age. Um, didn't really think much of it back then. Like I was just kind of annoyed because I just wanted to be on the pitch and playing football. But once you realize it's really good for you, obviously. I remember as soon as I think I must have been 14 back then. 14 was the age where you can like legally, or you can go to McFit back then and you can sign up for McFit at 14 if you have a letter of approval from your parents. And I got that letter. Like my mom
Yeah,
was
for
really
those
happy.
who don't know McFit,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Go ahead.
for those who don't know, McFit is like it used to be the number one fitness chain in Germany. Like pretty like for the most gyms, like pretty poor quality. But then again, open 24/7, and like there's one of them in every town. So
They're still around right
um,
now. They're still around now these days. Eh? There's still
I think
McFits around.
yeah they are, but like yeah, think- I don't want to say I don't see much of a future for them, but like they're not. I feel like they're not following the like what people like doing at the moment, right? Like people are like the number one hype right now is like hybrid fitness, I guess, right? And I don't think like McFit has the like studios and locations and the equipment to accommodate for that. Like
Yeah,
I don't
no,
think like
I
you
agree.
can do a sled push or pull there.
I
But
agree. I
well,
agree. But back then, I remember they were like coming up everywhere. Everywhere was McFits, because I think they were the first ones really to make like a big impact of making like fitness studios available 24/7 to like so many people, um, in so many different locations, and like fairly cheap as well. I think it was like 15 euros maybe back then to sign up for a monthly. So yeah, that
yeah,
was
man.
when I was 14. I actually signed up. I remember with my friend Robin Koch. He's playing Bundesliga now. Like he's made it all the way up. He's playing for the German national team, and we were back then like going to this gym and getting some workouts in before. Like we had no idea what we were doing. We're just like hitting some machines. We had no programs. We're just like hitting the butterfly. I remember there was this huge stack guy in the gym, and we're just like, how long did it take you to build all these muscles? And he was like, oh, it took me my whole life basically. But yeah, you just like you don't have any idea. I mean, he was a big bodybuilder. We were football players. Like that, we don't need to look like him. There's no need for us to like grow that much muscle mass. But yeah, you just kind of go with the flow and go what seems to be the right way. But I mean, the effort was definitely there. Like we were willing to put in the work, but we definitely didn't have like a real gradual path or like program to follow back then. But yeah, that's when I started with my fitness journey, I would say. So, but yeah, going on after that, I played in Trier for a couple of years for that academy team, and then I moved on to play in Cologne, and that obviously became like a big part of our weekly training schedule. Like there was always gym sessions in there, training with different coaches, like strength coaches, strength conditioning coaches, and sprint coaches, whatever they had available. Really, we would work with them, and that was a good experience. And I was still like, I was kind of like you, like I was always like medium size or like maybe even on the smaller side of the like my peers until I was like 14, 15 maybe. And then I had like one summer where I grew a lot in size, but like I was very skinny still. Like, I mean, not super skinny, but I was fairly skinny compared to now. And yeah, because I mean, you know
No,
how
you're a
it is.
big boy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know how it is when you play academy football, when you're a football player when you're young. You don't want to put on much size. Like it's an endurance sport in the end. You have to run for 90 minutes. Of course, you need some strength, but like the main objective is just to be fit and healthy and fast. So that was never really a
Oh,
thing, like really for football players to go and like lift crazy heavy weights. So I never did that either when I played in the academies in Cologne. There was just always like the stuff that they incorporate. But I guess when I was like 17, 17, 18, I started like signing up for an actual gym again and started going like on my own time, which was then for looks. Like I just, you want to go out to the beach or to the Aachener Weiher in Cologne in the summertime, and you want to look good when the ladies are around, and you want to have a bit about yourself. So that was kind of the objective then. Yeah, since then I've kind of always had that kind of element of the gym in my life. Like I always liked going, but then I went through phases where like sometimes it was really consistent for a little while, and then sometimes it wasn't. Like for example, I remember well after I finished playing in Cologne, I went to Canada um, to study and play for a university team here. So there we had a gym, and we kind of like me and my roommates and teammates, we made it like a real like ritual. We would go to the gym together a lot, especially in the winter time in the off season. That's where I really started to get better at like doing exercises, understanding the gym a lot more. But still nowhere near where I'm at today. Like I still didn't have a good program or like following a program even. It was just like, okay, go in, I'll do some chest today, or I'll do some back today, I'll do some legs. But I didn't like continuously work away at like a program. Also, like I said, like I still played football until I was 26 essentially. There's always a limit to it. I mean, especially once you get into the pro environment, your coach are gonna tell you, we don't want you to do anything like outside of what we tell you to do, because you have the gym sessions and you have the training sessions, and they want to manage your load, and they want to manage like how fatigued you are and how good you recover. So they basically just tell you like not to go to the gym at all and just do what we do with them, which I didn't really like. I still went to the gym, but I took it fairly easy. Like there's only so much you can do when you still have to play, right? So once I stopped playing, which was at 26, that's really when I started hitting the gym for like putting some mass on. Like I think when I stopped playing, I was maybe like 215 pounds. So since then, I've probably went up to 245, and now I'm back to like 200, like 30, 225. Yeah, that's when I really started getting back into the gym. First, just for myself, just to train and just to have that as part of my routine. Obviously, because football was not in my life anymore either, which was like always a huge part for me to play football. So now I had to find something else that keeps me active, which became fitness. And then after like a year or so of like really training a lot, that's when I started. Yeah, I started talking to people, and people asking me questions like, "Oh, do you have a good program? Can you help me out with this? Can you help me out with that?" And I always enjoyed that part too. Like I was never hesitant, and I always liked to give advice to people and help people. And that's when I realized, there might be something that I actually enjoy in like the coaching process or the coaching world of the fitness world. And yeah, that's when I started like kind of going on this journey of trying to become a coach, and that also led then into first like just training like fitness, writing programs, and then kind of turns into this performance side of coaching where you look at now. I look a lot of recovery, like your sleep, nutrition, just like kind of help athletes, especially, and like also people from normal walks of life to build good routines, good habits that all facilitate like a good fitness journey in the end. Because I mean, you know it. If you just go to the gym, I mean, it will do something, but it won't do much. Like there's a lot of things that you have to dial in to be able to train hard, especially if you train for an event like in Hyrox or something, to be recovered, to grow muscle, to stay lean, to stay fit, to have good cardiovascular health. Like there's so many things that go into it. So that's kind of where I'm at now. Like I want to try and make that more accessible for the people that I work with.
Great, man. Yeah, like what do you say? Like, there's a lot of things we could talk about. Like, so many
So
like
many.
exciting things. Like, first of all, like when you said like back then, like when you started for the first time with your body, like that you just went to the gym, like, but like that you didn't have an like idea of what you were doing. I think that's the case for most of us.
Hmm.
But like on the other like side, it's weird, right? Because like the information is out there. Like back then already, like YouTube was a thing. Like the information was out there. Um, and so if you like, if you want to like. Uh, yeah, if you want to create a plan for yourself, I think like you could do that, but like I didn't do it either. You know, I didn't. I put in the research, and I still see it nowadays. Like when I'm training at commercial gyms and see people like doing like whatever, like it's like just I mean you're not doing like for example just like the how you do an exercise, right? Like with the correct form and everything. Like you can look that up. Like there's thousands of YouTube videos, right? And then I see people doing it like like with a horrible posture and form, right? Which is fine because they don't know any better, but they could know better because like the
Right.
information's out there. So it's like I don't understand why don't you like put in the research um back then I think it was super easy. Now it's even easier, but then again, like there might be too much information out there. Like everybody has an opinion. I mean, it's like kind of where you come from as well, right? Where you want to guide people and like guide them through this like jungle of fitness information. Um, but yeah, that's a like a podcast for itself, or like this conflict between coaches, right? If you're on a football team, you're like the football coach, like technical coach or whatever, and then you have the strength and conditioning coach, and then like they always like kind of in a like fight, right? Because like you have to like obviously you have to prioritize, and then as a S&C coach, for example, you only get so much time with the players. Well, but that's another topic, I guess. Um,
Yeah, I mean what you touched on there with the gym, like it's very, very um obvious and evident for me, like no matter, and very consistent actually, like any gym that I go to, no matter if it's right now I'm in Toronto, but I'm based in Vancouver Island, like any gym I go to, even in Germany when I'm home, if you just go to a gym and look around, you can like be sure, or like you always see at least 80 to 90% of the people that are in there are not training right. Like there's actually like not a lot of people that actually train right, which is like you said, the information is out there, but I also get the point that like if you get your own information and you put it to work, and then you do it for like a week or two, and people think they need to see results after 2 weeks, but that's not how it works, right? And then they think maybe they're not doing it right, they're not, maybe they have the wrong plan because there is so much information out there, also a lot of misinformation that then like for a lot of people the answer is just to go to a professional, go to a coach, and like actually get a good opinion, and like someone who explains to you
yeah,
how the things work, and like that things take time. Maybe also like dialing in your nutrition, because that's a big thing. I mean, if you can hit the gym as much as you want, but if you don't get enough sleep, and if you don't eat properly and fuel your body to see results, it's gonna take so long, and it's gonna be so slow that the process, most people give up on it like so way quicker than they would if they actually dial in the other things too. But yeah, that's something I notice all the time. Wherever I go to the gym, there's only a handful of people that actually like look like they know what they're doing. It has, to be fair, it's been getting better. If you look at it like 5 years ago, it was way worse. I feel like now there's just, I feel like the younger generation actually has a bit more sense of like an active and healthy lifestyle. Like I feel like it's becoming like more of a trend now again. Meanwhile, while like our parents' generation, they don't have that at all. Like I feel like they've
mm,
been taught like wrong about nutrition, and they've never really taught the importance of like physical activity to an extent that
mm.
the kids learn it now. Or what do you think? What is your experience on that?
I feel like there's always parts of the society that are like heavily engaged, like engaged in fitness. I think that's always been the case. Like back then, it was like the Arnold movement. Like gyms, like when my parents were like in their 20s, like there were gyms like opening like in on every street corner, I think. So there was that movement there. Like it looked a bit different from movements nowadays. But I think there's like the fitness bubble itself has always existed. The question is um, is it a bubble, or is it is it the larger part of the society? And I think that's where you're right. Like, it's more mainstream now than it was back then. Like back then, it was a bubble. Um, like very secluded, like group of people. Um, and nowadays, like fitness is a mainstream thing. Um, so not everybody like engages and takes part in it, but it's more mainstream than it used to be back then. Uh,
Yeah, no, I
I
agree.
agree with that.
Totally agree. Well, it's because it's so out there now. I feel like there's almost like little bit of pressure on people to like you have to be somewhat fit and healthy to like be accepted in society. I feel like it has come to that little bit where like people feel, which is good, like it puts at least some sort of pressure on people to like be active because if we're all honest, like we should be more active as like a human kind. Like it's not normal that that there's like obesity is such a big problem in the world and like people are not eating healthy and just eat processed food. Like I think, in my opinion, that's all like things that have completely like taken over humankind in a way that it shouldn't have happened in anyway. So I think the trend is good, but yeah, I feel like people only scratch like the surface level of the fitness world. Like they do it for the reason maybe to belong, or they go to the gym to like socialize and like go there with their buddies, but they don't actually like a lot of them like don't actually go like and train and like connect with their bodies and like really have a good session and try to work on a plan consistently over 12 weeks, like periodization, like try to reach a goal, then assess or maybe train for an event, then reassess and then like set a new goal kind of thing. Which then of course you dip more into like maybe the world of an athlete than like your average human who's just trying to stay active and healthy. Yeah, I just think there's a lot of value in the whole process and the journey of getting healthy and getting fit. I've realized for myself, for example, that when I stopped playing football, then I had to transition into like my 9 to 5 job, which was a time that I didn't really enjoy, even though like I met some great people like Jack on that job, but like I didn't necessarily enjoy the life of like 9 to 5 and working in an office space where you sit all day and you don't really move much. So during that time, I realized like how important it was for me to create a good routine that will get me out of bed in the morning and get me active. Then you start like if you have your set workout for the morning, then you start like building around that kind of now. Like I know that a cold shower will wake me up before and set me up for a good workout. Then like my food after is gonna be like high protein and I'm gonna eat a bunch of carbs so like I have a good meal after. Like these are all things like you kind of start habit stacking. So you have the one thing that becomes like a main part of your routine and then you stack like little habits around and like support it. And then next thing you know, you have a really good morning routine before you even go to work. You've already like had a good meal, you had a cold shower, you had a workout, and you maybe got some electrolytes in. And then from that, you can keep building, right? Then you build like maybe an evening routine at one point because you know, okay, I need to get some good sleep so I can wake up and do the next thing in the morning. And that was really my main takeaway from like really taking fitness more serious in my life to like kind of a next level because I realized that it's first of all really good for me physically. It's really good for me mentally too. Like my mental health, maybe at that point, especially when I didn't really enjoy what I was doing, wasn't the greatest. But that was something that kept me going and something that I was looking forward to at least for like one part of my day. And it just encouraged me to do better. Like it gives you confidence. Workout gives you confidence. It boosts your dopamine right away, and like it actually extends the dopamine level throughout the day. And yeah, so I think it really helped me in the sense of just becoming a better person and like reminding myself that I'm capable of reaching my goals and I should follow my dreams and I should try new things. And yeah, just a general encouragement to not sit in comfort zone, but like to move out of them and try to go after the things that I want to do. So that's where I think that's why I'm so passionate about it. I feel like because obviously it's great to look nice, to be able to perform when you want to perform whatever it is, a Hyrox race or marathon. But the main part, the main takeaway for me is always that it just gives my life a whole different outlook if I follow a good structured routine of fitness, of healthy meals, good sleep. Um, I think that's something that people maybe don't dial in on enough. Yeah.
Uh, um, yeah, man, thanks for sharing. There's a lot of like valuable stuff and information and inspiration in what you said. I all of this like how to build a routine, like how does it affect your mental well-being and your mental health. I guess that's all things we can dive in like way deeper in the next few weeks. Um, so yeah, man, I'm excited to like start this little project with you. Uh, and yeah,
No, it's great. It's great. I think today we definitely well, after kind of sharing our journeys to where how we came where we're at today, we kind of dove into a few topics of trends and like routines and where there's the passion attached for us. Yeah, like you said, I think our goal for the next few episodes is definitely like to pick a topic and really like go in depth, so like our listeners can actually take away something and like take away like a good chunk of information that will maybe help them set up whatever topic we're talking about. If it's how to train or how to build a routine, how to train for certain events, whatever it might be. Yeah, I'm definitely very excited. We always have very good chats. I think there's lots of value in it. Yeah, we think we're gonna try and do these like at least every 2 weeks, maybe even weekly if we have enough time just to get together and record the episodes. I mean, we've been doing it anyways with our little calls. We've been staying on top of that. So I think it shouldn't be a problem to connect at least every 2 weeks and put out some information for everyone who's listening. So yeah, I hope to you guys or to everyone who was listening that you could take away something and that you know little bit more about Leon and about myself, and definitely looking forward to the next episode. Great.
Yeah, man. Cheers. Cheers for listening, guys. Bye bye.
Bye bye.